Hey guys, we got a let's see, get the overlay off right now. Yeah. Well, today's a pretty exciting day. This is the very first test of a new track I've been trying to build. I know the idea is to mod the game with a new track. The new track is invisible, but it should run right along here and allow us to load the containers from the yard more conveniently. Of course, more work needs to be done. We need to add. We now need to add models to the game. I think this switch controls the new. The new switch should be about here, and I believe that should control it. Let's test it here. This is just a workshop item I was messing with the other day. The idea was to make a diesel-electric drive, but with no microcontrollers whatsoever. Let's get in here. Take the brake off. Throttle to 0. There's because there are no microcontrollers, there's no idle. There's no like my normal microcontroller will say, okay, if the throttle's low, the player wants to stop the train. This has no such controller, so it's just you throw the reverser in and you're moving. So let's take it up, give it a little fuel here. Take it down to the main switch. That's enough. I don't know how the brakes work on this thing. I just haven't messed with them. Brakes. Okay. Take the brakes off. Take it reverse. Start accelerating in reverse. Let's give it a little speed. Okay. I really don't want to be going fast on an invisible track. So here we have the conventional switch, left that untouched. Then now the new switch, let's see what happens. Okay, yeah, I did the calculations for that by hand, and I was just laying out boxes on the ground to figure out the angles for that, and it's okay, there's a little bit of a jerk there, but again, I can't really. This is a 0.1 alpha build of this new track. But as you can see, we're going along. We're now in the final stretch of it. The track terminates right next to that building, so and this is about as far as I can go here. But now let's see, gotta neutralize my reverser. Throttle's still off. RPS is almost nothing. Okay, shunner's working, but as you can see, I mean, this is definitely feasible. Of course, we're gonna need to. The next step is to make sure we can bring in models to show what I'm actually driving on. But this is definitely something that can happen. All right, let's go over plans now. What I want to do in the next step is to get rid of doing this by hand, and it's a very, very error-prone process. I mean, you got like I think I have 6 nodes along this line here, or 5 nodes, and plus the branch. I used for reference the point I took off from was a point called the train 40. So the name of the node. The name of this node right here is Train 40, and then I went over here. I called my new line Sawyer North Loading, SNL, and I started at 60, 61, 62, 63, all the way up to 65 at the end here. All of that by hand, all of it, and very, very error-prone. I mean, about maybe a dozen things in each record has to be exactly right. The plans for the future, the next step is to get software that does it, that automatically checks the angles, checks the slope. I just to start out just to make it 2D, so basically you'd be able to organize the yards and the switches in the yards a little better. The next step after that is to hopefully bring in at least some of the terrain so we can see what I'm building on and see what, and like getting over to Holt there, they got that hill. So maybe you make a cut in the hill or I don't know. Well, let's see. Well, what would the Holt line look like? I mean, we can, now that have new track, I mean, let's say we branch off of there, come over here, we get this, I guess we would have a road crossing on here. Well, let's see. I mean, you get sort of this weird thing going on. You have to get across the road, and then start on a. I mean, the road is kind of in a little depression here anyway. And then so yeah, the tool would have to check for grading, check for and the turn angles, test for and the radius, the curves. So I'd have to on a lot of sanity checks, and I'd have to manage the links and the organization, of course. And then yeah, then beyond that, maybe just a general purpose map editor. And but yeah, it's this is definitely proof of concept, and we're definitely in business. I mean, take the brakes off. I better, while I'm here, I better do one more test. I mean, I've not actually tested that new switch yet, so what I'm gonna do is go back up onto the line here. Not that fast. Yeah. Fast little bastard. Alright, we're gonna go to the new switch and we're going to flip it, and then we're gonna see if we can still reach track 4 there. So this is the first time I'm doing this test, doing it live on camera, so we'll see what happens here. Hallelujah! My theory about how the switch works is correct. Alright, well, let's, again, for reference, let's review how the switch works. The switch is defined in the save file, or in the grid file, as a edit area. So it's like a workbench, but instead of editing the vehicle, it edits the track here. It has like a box around it that's roughly rectangular in shape, about this size that I'm walking across. And because train 40 is within range of that, and because I have the link nodes lined up in the correct order within track 40, it knows to either go to the second or the third link in the list. Like the second link in the list is SNL 60, and the third, let's see, check my notes here. Alright, the junction 41 is that way, and that's the third item in the list. So the switch here flips between the second and the third item in the list there. So second being SNL 60, and third being train 40. So that's So yeah, it's a successful test, and that's pretty much all I know. The signal tower is defined in the. You'll find that in the debris directory. It's listed as a debris, and the little the magic node in there is a hidden part that doesn't show up in the catalog, but it's actually hidden in the definitions directory. I can look up the name for you if you need to. That's about all. That's about all I know so far. I mean, each the track is defined like it's like a path. Let's go into the custom menu. Yeah, the add-on editor. Add-on menu. It's, So it's got this feature called graph nodes. So it's like you can set graph nodes like that, and that's basically how the track works. That it's just on a that you plot nodes like that, and and then you define linkages between those two nodes, and then once you do that, the train can drive down the track, whether it's visible or not. I now know, and after doing this test, I now know that the track itself is not procedural. It is a mesh that was added to the world along the exact same lines as the nodes for the track. So that's all I know about how that works, and so I guess the next step is to draw to fix the curve there, and then draw and get a visible mesh underneath where the track needs to be, and then after that, develop tools to automate the process. And then maybe a 3D world editor, so you can not just design tracks within a yard, but actually extend it out through the world and across the map. So yeah, this is a really exciting day here. I mean, this is literally the first time I booted the game up after putting the Switch down, and it's my excitement level is really high at the moment. So, Yahoo, guys, Yahoo.